Hello, family tribe. Welcome to the Married Truth Lounge. Lesson and blessing through real life experience. Uncut, unfiltered, multiple marriages of wisdom. And I'm done. But I just want to drop some gems on you today as well. You know, my please excuse me if I haven't been giving the content that I usually give, but my phone has been acting up a lot, and I made a video for delays. But I think before all this started, I was on my series about my marriages, and today I'm going to share a little about my second marriage. I think I stopped it with my daughter's father. We was together for 7 years, but we weren't married, but it was like a marriage, but we just didn't have the paperwork. But I think I stopped it on that. But I was married. After that relationship was over, making a long story short, I was out with some friend girls one night. We went to a reggae club in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and there I met my second husband. And he was 17. He was Jamaican. He was 17 years older than me, and he liked it to go out to reggae places, and he went to American clubs as well, and go to concerts and stuff. And we started going out. He wasn't big on going out to dinner and stuff like that. One thing about a lot of Caribbean men, if they haven't been over here and raised an American way for a very long time, they are not big on going out to dinner and all that kind of stuff. They rather cook and eat at home. But we didn't do a lot of eating out and stuff like that. We basically, he loved his Jamaican food, rice and peas and all that stuff. Well, really, rice and peas is not a Jamaican dish because it's been around forever. Because my grandma used to cook rice and peas, pigeon peas, and lima beans, and black eyed peas, and all that kind of stuff, and it always would cook rice. So, but Jamaicans got their own version of how they cook it. So, okay, rice and peas for them. But anyway, we started going out clubbing a lot. We would go to a lot of reggae clubs, and then we'd go to American clubs because he had a particular American club he liked to go to on 31st. It was in Fort Lauderdale. Anybody know Fort Lauderdale? They know what 31st is. They know what 31st is. And between 31st and Sunrise is right before you get Sunrise. Well, anyway, it's in Fort Lauderdale. So I didn't leave Fort Lauderdale until 2005. But me and him met in the 90s. And we, I was living with my mom, and he had his own place, but he had a roommate, and she was a Jamaican younger lady. And one day, how me and him ended up really being together. The roommate left him, and she left on, and that's when I moved in because I was working and stuff and helped him out, and that's how we got together. And one thing led to another. We ended up getting married, getting a house, and like I say, he was, I wasn't in love with him or nothing like that, but I know he was, I had 3 kids, and he was, I know my kids would have a stable place and be secure with this guy, but I wasn't like head over heels and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we vibed okay for us going out and all that, but it wasn't like I was he was the apple of my eye. But he was a cool Jamaican, I could say that, but he was very what I call it, aggressive. He wanted what he wanted. It was his way or no way, and he had some mean streaks about it. If anybody know Jamaicans, they know they can be arrogant, rude, and I'm sorry, I love y'all, but a lot of the older ones can be, oh God. There is something else. I grew up around Jamaicans. My kids, a lot of their friends was Jamaicans. My daughter's fiance is Jamaican, and we have Jamaicans in our family because we have relatives that had kids from Jamaicans, and we have relatives that have kids from Haitians and Trinidad and Barbados and Bahamian and all that. So all that's in my family because we, like I say, Florida, where I'm from, is like an island attached to the United States. And the flight probably, I don't think it's an hour flight. I think it's maybe about 45-minute flight from Fort Lauderdale to Jamaica. But it's a lot of Jamaicans in Fort Lauderdale. Oh, when I tell you a lot. I mean, oh goodness, it is a lot. They call it Jamaican Hill. The area I lived in was Lauderhill, but they call it Jamaican Hill. But he was kind of mean. I felt he was like mean to my kids. Like my son had locks, and he was about 15, something like that. And as time went on, he was like, oh, he can't wear his locks open in my house, got to have his head covered up. Then he would put on the alarm, the kids would be in the room, he would be putting on the alarm. Why is you putting on the alarm? The kids might go in there and want water or whatever, and you putting on the alarm like they in prison and stuff. We had, our house was immaculate, they had to take off their shoes, and people had to take off their shoes when they came in the house, and he didn't want to go. If they went in the pool, they couldn't splash water. Well, how you gonna not splash water in the pool? Come on now. I mean, he was just, now he'll go to the club and stuff with me and go to concerts, but when it came to going to family events, he would not want to do that. He didn't go to church with me. He didn't do none of that stuff. Back then, I was a Christian, went to church faithfully, went to Bible study faithfully. Now, if I didn't go to church, oh, you now go to church, you now go to church. You need to get up and go to church, but guess what? He didn't never go. And like I said, he didn't go to any family functions or nothing like that. Nobody never seen him. My family used to always say, you know what, Tanya? If you keep on coming here by yourself, somebody gonna snatch you up. They always used to say that. Because you're a nice looking lady, and hey, he shouldn't be letting you go all these places by yourself. But, he ain't paying that no mind. He ain't care. Like I say, he wasn't, I remember one time I broke down and I called him to come fix. Me fixing me food. You have to wait until I finish. I'm like, you know what? That's okay. I just called somebody. I don't know what happened that day, who I called, but I can't much remember. But I know I got home. I know I got home. So it's like he just had that nonchalant attitude and stuff like that, and he just, he was a hard worker. I can say that. He didn't give me money every week or nothing like that, but he paid the bills, and he let me keep most of my money. He will buy me a lot of jewelry. He liked the gold and all that on women, so he bought me my first Citizen watch and all type of gold necklaces and all that stuff. And I ended up I had a little Toyota Tercel. Y'all know what them is. I don't even think they make them no more. But when I got with him, I traded that car and we went and got Toyota Corolla. I think it was about in the 90s something, but he ended up, we ended up putting tint the windows, put a spoil on the back and all that kind of stuff, made it look really nice. Cause when I drove to Atlanta, Georgia, that's what I had. But like I said, he was a very aggressive person. He didn't never hit me or nothing like that. I can say that. We got into the argument. They love to say the bummer claw and all that grass claws and all that kind of stuff. And oh goodness, that would make me mad. I remember one day he said bummer claw. I was washing some dishes. I took them dishes and I missed his head by an inch. And I tell you what, he looked at me and he didn't say another word. Another word. But I did. As time went on, I just got tired of it. I really got tired of him being just, like so mean with the kids and stuff. We was in a 2-bedroom and a 2-2. The house was only a 2-2, and I said, well, we should move out here and get a big place. The kids need their own room. And he was like, oh, me not getting no house for no kids and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? I just decided to say, you know what? I got to move on from this. And you know what? I ended up moving to Augusta, Georgia. I left my kids behind. I left my daughter, my youngest daughter, with her father. And I think my oldest daughter came with me, and my son, he moved with my mama for a while until things happened. Then he had to end up moving out and all this kind of stuff. You know what? I kind of regret all that because I broke things up. I was split up from my kids and stuff. And, I think that's why I am the grandmother I am now. I'm probably trying to make up from time when I wasn't with them because, when my daughter graduated from school, I wasn't staying with her. But I did come to her graduation stuff. I wasn't there for her prom, but I did came to her graduation. And, so now, like they say, like I always say, if you messed up as a parent, hey, make it up through with the grandchildren at least. Somewhere down the line, do some making up, do some making. That's why I'm not one of the, when my daughter asks me to do anything, hey, I'm right there for her, you know. Right there. I would just let me know in the month advance, because you know I'm still working. I have to put that time in, but you know what? If it's in my power to do whatever I can for my children, my grandchildren, I will do so with no problem. Because like I say, y'all heard me say on my other videos, I had good grandparents, very good, excellent grandparents. And I can actually say that. But making a long story short, I left him and moved on. And like I say, that relationship, you know, it was a blessing because, you know, I got a chance to live in a nice home and experience of older man. And you know, he was always say, "Oh, I raised you," and all this kind of stuff. But I'm not gonna go into it. I'm probably gonna give you more details about this marriage. I just wanted to share a little with you about my second marriage. And I hope you guys continue having a phenomenal day. Keep yourself in a positive state of mind, being around positive people doing positive things. And I love you all. I love the subscribers that I have, the subscribers that will be subscribing. And like I said, stay tuned to my channel because I am working on big things. I am coming out with my own merchandise as well. So I will see you guys in my next video. Peace, love, and happiness.